Okay, so when should you not run variations if you're training conjugate? Well, in the case of my squat and deadlift training as of late, groove has been really unfamiliar with all of the weight loss, so running variations wasn't going to help me find the groove, so I've just been sticking to mains on squats and deads. Bench, on the other hand, though, groove felt pretty good through the weight loss, and it was mostly just I feel weak as shit problem, so I have been running variations that should hopefully be helping with that feeling weak as shit type problem. But the problem with that is that it's been literal months since I've run a competition bench, so I think today is about time that we test out how the groove is doing and see if those variations actually have been helping. And I guess bottom line, if you feel like you need more competition lift practice, probably shouldn't be running variations, but if the competition lift does feel dialed in, we can use variations strategically to be able to build what we most need building. Can already tell that this is going to be at least okay. Oh, and I should clarify for those of you who are new here, I'm not normally this skinny or this weak, but the whole point of this cut series vlog is that I was a half decent 308, like 2110 raw ain't all that terrible, but at 5'11", I was way too freaking fat as a 308, and I realized that in order to be as good of a powerlifter as I could be, I would need to get leaner so I could come back more jackeder, and that is what we're in the process of doing right now. Which means that, yeah, numbers kind of suck in the short term, but we are doing what we can to make sure that when food comes back in, numbers are going to be back. And we're taking small jumps here today for the sake of making sure it feels good, but also because Miana went green and it's going to be easier to just take the jump that she took versus having to put different plates on. Like, I feel really chattery, which is probably still part of being screwed up from travel, so I'm not too worried about that, but groove, like, I think we are on the right track. So we'll see if we can keep it that way. More easy plate loading because sharing the bench with Miana. But the thing that is telling me that what I have been doing for bench is working is not that I feel exceptionally strong right now, but it's the fact that my eccentric feels really dialed and I'm able to lock her up super hard for a solid catch at the bottom. That tells me that everything I need to be clicking is really clicking at the moment. So at this point, semi-optimistic that I might actually feel decently strong today. And Miana's out, so that means adult plates and wrist straps on. See if we can keep it to a half-decent standard here. And trying to be mindful of getting the elbows locked a little earlier because Miana was telling me that I was a little bit late on the last couple of unracks. That better? Yeah, feels decently strong. And I mean, still way heavier than I ever want two reds to feel, but light enough that will go 295. I got Joel out to supervise for this set, just in case I really embarrass myself here. Plan here is to do my best not to embarrass myself, though. Because can't do that if the enemy's watching. I don't know, Joel's starting his show prep next week, so maybe if he's an actual bodybuilder, we can be friends again. I'm actually pretty okay with that. Yeah. Like, first rep felt like I just hammer it, and then sauce ran out pretty quick, but like...
You find you're tucking a little bit more as you got smaller?
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of... I'm really trying to spread right now. Does it look over tuck still?
You're just like, you look like you're... Obviously, like, you're like, I just don't know if it's more stability because you've...
Yeah, because it feels like I'm not tagging quite as much pec, so yeah, I probably should give her a little more flair. And I'm glad Joel pointed out what he did with the over tuck, because I didn't feel like I was doing it, but that's pretty common for guys that are getting skinnier while bench pressing, because like if I were flared to my normal degree, like I wouldn't be having that same tricep lat contact. So what becomes important is that I'm less reliant on like squeezing into myself to create tension and more reliant on trying to spread the bar a little bit harder. So we're gonna do that for the next set. Also, I need to confirm that this is actually happening, but AJ is way up there in the sky. I really hope he's turning the lights on. You turning the lights on? Yeah. Oh, darn. I was hoping for better lighting back here because it is a little bit tough to get the exposure and weight balance right now, but I'll suck it up. Anyways, goal here is a little more spread, a little more flare without ripping a pec off, hopefully. And if I can get a solid 3 here, considering the circumstances, I will be a very happy camper. Yeah, I'd say that's good enough. Yeah. It's like the stupidest thing ever because like first set feels so strong, and then I'm like, I have no carbohydrates in my muscles right now. So I just need 200 grams of creatine a day? Perfect. And post set feels there, both happy and pissed. Happy because that is by far the best bench has felt in a very long time and the most weight I've pressed in a very long time, especially considering that I've only had 50 grams of carbs so far today. Like I can't be too upset. But I'm also pissed because my best ever triple is 465, and we are so freaking far off of that right now. But I'm going to use that pissed offedness to make sure that I don't slack on my accessories so that when food comes back in, we're going to be good to go. Which means that I'm going to be getting back on this egregiously heavy machine press with the goal of making sure that my elbows are shoved out into a decent amount of flare. So I'm building strength in the position that I need to be in. And just gonna feel out a couple reps with one plate here, making sure that everything's clicking before we go up. Yeah, we're good to go. And the thing is, with comp bench feeling as good as it did there, I know that I don't really need to change the shape of my accessories at all. I just need to get more stronger, so that's what we're gonna do. This thing is freaking disgusting, FYI. Think we'll go 2 1/4 for next set. Plan here is that if it feels good, we'll go up. If it feels like ass, we'll leave it here and make this top set. We might be in trouble. I don't know where to put my feet. Think we're good to go up though. Okay, 3 plates, feeling a little bit flat, so let's wake up and give her a good crank. I love the foot pedal to cheat the first rep. Boo! 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 I love this machine, but also hate it so freaking much. Like, it is just so egregiously heavy in the bottom position, which is freaking awesome, and also a little bit terrible. And for triceps part 1, both of the Smith machines are currently occupied, so we're back over here, which is probably going to be at least an okay option, because it's been at least a little while since I've run a real JM press. Feels good to be back on a barbell. Will also be good to get feedback on whether or not the Smith machine JMs are actually working for me, you know? And conservative jump here just to make sure we don't do anything stupid, but with how it's feeling, I'm at least optimistic that we'll be able to get somewhere like half decent here today. And grand scheme of things for JMs, like 245, not very good. When I'm in shape, like I should be handling 315-ish on these. But if I can make this half decent with the circumstances today, we know we're going to be in a pretty okay spot. Last rep caught up a little bit, which I was kind of thinking like maybe we go 265 after the first couple, but I think the wise choice will be to leave it there for the next set. And made the mistake of opening my phone and saw that someone commented on one of my deadlift reels that instead of doing what I suggested, that you just need to sit back on a deadlift and everything will get better. So I'm a little bit pissed off, so we're gonna make this set good. Opening my phone might have been a good idea because that set felt pretty good. And with how that felt, probably going to continue pursuing some real JMs the next couple of weeks to see if we can get it to feel even better. But in order to make that feel better, we're moving on to some incline rolling dumbbell extensions. And the 0 to 90's taken, so that's why we're on this guy right now. But it's like, comparing these to JMs, I find JMs have way better direct carryover into my bench, whereas these seem to be really good for making my JM stronger. So if I make these stronger, JM gets stronger, JM gets stronger, bench gets stronger, Seth gets happier, you know? But we're gonna see if we can make the hundos not too shitty. A little bit shitty. We're okay with it though. And I did set one with 90s, but forgot to film it, so I guess that's top set, and we'll move on to what's next. Sitting there, was feeling very diet brain, so in the moment I forgot what was next, but we're moving on to this freaking phenomenal pull-down machine. And what we're doing a little bit different than the last couple weeks is we're gonna continue digging into that wider grip, scapular travel type intent. Try to get a really big stretch along the outside of the lat, really big squeeze along the outside of the lat, and just make her feel nice and juicy. And like, the nice thing about doing them with this intent is that I don't need a ton of weight to get really good work in, which is very helpful when I feel the way that I feel right now, you know? And the other thing that I find helpful with this intent is that at the top, I'm trying to like internally rotate the shoulders, and that just helps me flare scaps a little bit wider and makes it, oh, so much grosser in the best way possible. We'll do one more set there because that was plenty hard enough, and I am a fading boy at this point in my life. Alrighty, round number 2. Big old stretch, big old squeeze. And I think something that's missing from a lot of powerlifters' accessory work is the idea of precision. Because like, yeah, I do love movements like the JMs, like the rolling dumbbells, where they are kind of move weight movements, but the problem with the move weight movements is that it's a little bit easy to not maximize the kind of tension that we need to actually grow shit. And if we can bring more precision to the muscle groups that we don't really need to move weight, we can make those muscle groups a lot bigger, which is going to help us with the leverage situation. And that is what I am currently trying to accomplish with these suckers as I totally gas out. Holy. And it's like, with that wide lat work, it probably isn't going to directly make any of my lifts stronger, but if I'm thinking about how I've trained my lats over the years, like I've really prioritized doing more narrow grip lat work to help kind of build what I need to build to support my squat, to support my deadlift. But the thing is if we look at my last week's progress photos, like the wider lat stuff definitely is lacking. And my thoughts are that if I can get that shit to be a little bit more outwards, I should be able to feel more compact in the bottom of my bench as someone that is less fat than he used to be. And yeah, I am kind of grasping at straws there, but desperate times call for desperate measures. But one thing that I am certain will help with that bottom end bench feel is these dumbbell A raises. And compared to how I was doing them last week with what I was feeling on bench today and what Joel pointed out, I am going to go for a little bit more flare, a little bit more spread on these to kind of better replicate the angle I want my humerus at in the bottom of bench. But the big thing I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm not just shrugging forward and making this a trap exercise, trying to keep the scaps packed down. So it's just rear delts moving the weight. And the level of squeeze I get on these is absolutely disgusting. And it feels nice. So, yeah. Kind of forgot what I was talking about there because the pump was getting so intense. But the point I was going to try to make there is that if we have an idea of the sensations and positions that we're missing on our main work, we can strategically program our accessories to touch those positions and make those parts stronger so that when we go back to our main work the next session, we should have even better feels.
Because just trying harder to have better technique on your squat, bench, and deadlift can be a very frustrating path to take. What I'll do instead with the team is I will program specific accessory lifts so that a lifter can dial in their skill components outside of the barbell while building the strength necessary to maintain better positions. And if you're on the fence about the team or don't know what is going on in there, hit the link below because you can sign up for 7 days absolutely free so you can post all of your lifts and get coaching directly from me so we can get you on the right track.
The big elephant in the room with like upper back work in regards to bench too is that rear delts, they're not really moving the bench bar at all. But the reason that trying to get them strong in this position is important for me is that the stronger my rear delts are in this position, the better job I can do at directing my humerus to the position that it really needs to be in order to press the bar well. So that's why I'm cranking on these. And why running these with a bit better flare, I'm expecting should make it feel better the next time that I bench press. And this set's getting hard again, so I'm going to shut up to finish. Yeah, they're cookered, which is a good thing because if running them wider is so much harder than running them narrower, it's telling me that running them wider is probably going to be good for me, especially considering I was having trouble getting the humerus wide enough when I was pressing. And because I am fading so hard, like I'm not going to try to stack too many exercises into the session because I touched everything I needed to touch today, except for the last thing we need to touch, which is going to be some good old standing abs with the oblique twist that I've been enjoying digging into as of late. And the thing is with the oblique twist, I hadn't trained obliques for a very long time, and it kind of became apparent that they were what was missing with my brace feels on squats and deadlifts as of late. So there's going to be a point where I probably need to prioritize rectus abdominis more in the future. But until that point becomes apparent, we're going to keep cranking on the twisty, bendy kind of stuff. Because I really suck at it, if that isn't very obvious right now. Yeah. And for the sake of being less terrible at these in the future, we're going up for set 2. And the reason I'm doing these on the lat pull down versus another cable setup is that I can jam my hamstrings against the back post, I can jam my shins against the seat, and just lock myself in so it's really easy to pull with my obliques. Really freaking hard. This might be too heavy, but we're here. We're going to finish the set. And we're gassed. And you know what? I would be lying if I said anything other than I feel like freaking shit today. And I know a lot of that probably is the travel, but I was definitely fading hard through the entire training session, which even if it wasn't spectacular, like I am proud of the quality that I was able to put in there. And I think like the name of the game right now, I always say it, is that when shit sucks, the best thing you can do is just do your best to make your training productive, because if you can make training productive in circumstances that are not ideal, you're going to be better off for it, not just from it's going to help you do better in the coming weeks, but also in a, if you wake up on meet day and you feel like shit, you're going to have the confidence to just still go out there and do your job to the best of your ability. And on that note, Mr. woke up puking at his last meet, Keelan, I'm making him vlog his training into King of the Platform. We got a little bit of a wager going on to see who can have the biggest total at that meet. And like me right now, I'm probably going to be competing at either 220 or 242, depending on where body weight goes once calories do come back in. So we're doing it on total, not dots. So I might be in a little bit of trouble, considering that his plan is to fill out the 308s a whole lot better. But I think that's just going to make it more fun for the both of us. And the reason that I'm saying this is that I'm making him start vlogging his training into the meet for two reasons. Number one, it's going to be good for him to have a little bit more thought process into what he's doing. And number two, we're actually getting him to take over his own programming. And like, I've been with him for 4 years now, and like, he is so freaking good at everything he does, both like from a lifter perspective as well as a perspective of him being his own coach. And as much as I am a little bit sad to have him running his own stuff, because like working with him was just like literal dream, because it was just tell him what to do, he goes and does a freaking phenomenal job, and then we just tell him what to do and he goes and does a freaking phenomenal job. So it was really, really, really nice for my side of things. But on that note, like, he's ready to do it on his own, and doing it on his own, I think, will only make him grow more as a lifter and a coach. So I am really, really, really excited to see where that goes. So yeah, go watch his vlog. I'll link it below, but make sure we get him some subscribers just so his view count doesn't stay little and small for now. And I think like, same thing I kind of told him with powerlifting like years and years ago is like, if he keeps treating training the way that he does, he's going to be a better lifter and coach than I am very soon. And he's damn near right there. And I think that if he treats vlogging the way that he does training, he's probably going to blow up way faster than I am, just because of his accent. Like that's all he's really got going for him is the accent, but I think it's going to be cool to watch that channel grow. So go check her out. Anyways, that is what I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I will see you in the team.